spoke about winning the big moments.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big moment at the end. It could have been a far different dressing room, far different mood in the stadium, the whole lot.
Yeah, of course, because the circumstances of the game, changed based on the 10 men. And at that stage, they score from that stage as well. Before we've even had the chance to reorganise ourselves, we're already back to 1-1, and obviously we're playing with 10 men. And, we made a couple of changes structurally and personnel. And, they obviously started to have the ball more at that period, which was a consequence of, going down, from set pieces, thought they could open us up or some, crosses and second balls. But, to have the spirit to go on and win that game, not just hold out, but go on and win the game, speaks volumes of that group for what they produced today.
Maybe probably a bit the context of the season. I know it's round 1, but you've got another home game next week.
It's round 2 for us.
Well, yeah. in terms of momentum,
yeah.
I mean, we said that the first 6 block of games is going to be important.
No, I think all that matters is today. And, coming up with such a situation where, like I said, it was difficult going down to 10 men with such a long period to play still. And to go on and win it, I think it's about today. What relevance does it have to next week? I'm not sure. I hope it gives them some belief about, physically where they're at. That's important because, irrespective, that's our first game. We had played 16 days ago. That was the last game we played, and yet, we ran out the game really strong.
And Becker too, he didn't just snatch it. He looked like he took his time, picked his spot. Is that where he's grown? After scoring 13 goals last year, he's more mature?
I think he's going to mature because I looked at the average age of our team. It was 25 today. Theirs was almost 30. And obviously, there was a big talk about how many young players they were blooding last year, but it's changed pretty quickly. So he'll get better. But today, he took his chance. He had 1-2 chances. They got really good centre backs, to be honest. They played with 3 the whole time. So there wasn't a lot of space. There wasn't as much opportunities to receive it in the box. But when he took his chance, it was clinical.
And Jordan Elsey, I mean, the high of that, and what did you make of the challenge and of the call?
Look, I haven't had a chance to see it again. Obviously, the leg's high. I don't know if the head's gone down. There's a few different ways to sort of interpret it, but it's the decision that was made at the time, and obviously it was checked, and then it comes back and it's a straight red as well. So we'll look at it and see if we have to appeal. But it was a situation that probed us to have a look at what kind of character we've got as well, and resilience. And last season we were on the end of a lot of those games at the end. And so I think for this group to play their first game in front of a great crowd, I think, we had close to 8,000 people here today. And hopefully there's more next week. And, the main thing is that they went home happy.
Hey, Carl Jenkinson, I thought really showed us what he's going to add to your team, and young Nasser as well. What were your thoughts on them too?
Yeah, positive contributions. I thought, overall, I felt when we scored, we had momentum at that stage, and we probably just needed to be a bit better to control the next part of that game, and which probably culminated in where the send-off occurred, and we were under a bit of pressure because we weren't really moving the ball well enough after we scored a goal. Up until then, we moved it quite well. We were playing in their half a lot. And Carl and Nata have grown as the pre-season's gone, and I still think there's a huge scope for improvement for both of them.
On the first half, you obviously dominated all those key stats, but you didn't really create too many clear-cut chances. Was that the message at half time, that just keep persisting and it will come, or did you need to tweak things a little bit?
Look, if you look at the way they came to set up, they changed from a back 4 last week, pretty much went a back 5. 3, really strong centre backs in there, not a lot of space to play, a tall striker to play, direct to and feed off second balls. So it's not going to be so easy to open them up and create those chances. So the first thing is, can we control the territory, and then can we find better ways to open them up? We got in behind from Trent a couple times, I thought, really well. Reno, when Reno gets on the ball, things can happen as well, and obviously Darcy, is still integrating into the team. So overall, it was cagey. It was definitely cagey, but apart from a couple of long balls, I never felt overly troubled either.
Is that the difference, do you think, this year? I mean, as you said, that game was a game you dropped last year or dropped points in. Is that? I think you made the point of being with that. That's got to be the difference here. That's the difference between being battling for a six and making the six is turning those things around.
It's important to come out with a positive outcome from a difficult situation, and that's exactly what that game posed to us today. But it's too early to tell, things change really quickly. So all that matters is that everyone recovers well, and we've got as many bodies on the park again to play next week against another tough opponent.
And there was no Dane Ingham and no Callum Timmins. Are they minor injuries, or are they a couple of weeks? Or
they were touch and go. They were touch and go. I mean, we understand that, what's ahead for us as well, and some players were around the mark, but it's we can't play in games like this with players that are at 80%. That's the reality. That game today, if we had to carry anyone, it would have been a different outcome. So we picked the players. I've got full faith in the whole group. That's the key part, and those guys need to get on the track and prove themselves this week to be in contention.
Was there anyone that I mentioned that you were really happy with, that you really thought stood up, or?
Oh no, just like collectively, I just felt it's a really great performance in front of our supporters, and I think it represents a little bit about what we're wanting to become as well. We want to play good football, we want to play attacking football, and we want to be hard to beat as well. That's an important part for us. So I think that was the pleasing part for today.
Yeah, obviously a good win, well deserved win, but despite it being 2 goals, there's still only 2 shots on target. Could you put that down maybe to a lack of chance creation?
Yeah, definitely. I think like I said, it wasn't going to be easy to get into to receive balls in the box when they've got so many numbers there, and they're sitting quite deep, and that was always a challenge, like we spoke about during the week, of how we're going to go about getting into situations to score goals, which is something that we're always working on. So there's a lot of work to do, because we can get better. We've had a good result today, but there's work to do. There's work to do to get to become a team that games like this we can score a lot of goals earlier and go on with it.
Yeah, the Jets look very comfortable in possession today, particularly in the first half, and with the fullbacks seem to be overloading a lot with McGarry and Jenkinson. Basically, what were your thoughts on their performances, particularly in the attacking phase?
Yeah, it was just about where the spaces were, and because they played with a back 5, and then they had 3 midfielders who were central and pretty much matching up against our 3 midfielders. The space was in those wide areas. It didn't culminate in creating a lot of chances, but it culminated in us being able to have control for periods that we wanted to have control with it. And like I said, we still got in behind them a couple of times, but it wasn't going to be easy because they were sitting so deep.
And obviously O'Neill with that head clash managed to get the bandage on in the first half. How's he pulled up?
I think it's the happiest I've seen him for a while. Yeah, because it's a player that for me I got a lot of time for as a person, and you saw him. Like he didn't stop. He didn't stop no matter what the situation was. He kept going, and like I said, has added a lot of leadership, a lot of grit into this group, and I was just really pleased for him and the boys that had come over from Perth.
Obviously, the back 4, 3 of the 4 of them have making their club debut today. Yep. How happy were you with the way they all worked together? Especially in that first half, they looked like they complemented each other brilliantly.
Yeah, they did well, and they were well supported by players in front of them that were working really hard and making sure there was pressure on the ball at most occasions, and taking space away. And like I said, they played with 2 really good strikers, to be honest. I mean, they've got Bruno up front, who's one of the greatest of all time playing in the A-League. And then the new boy that came in today. He's a handful, and like I said, it wasn't an easy challenge for them, but I thought organisationally they managed it quite well.
You haven't named on the bench again. Does he have any niggles or long-lasting sort of things that's kept him out there, or you just really like the way the 2 centre backs you're starting with recently?
No niggles. Just a competition for places, and Matty. Matty, if you look at him when he comes on, he was outstanding. Yeah, he came on with, 10 men, marshalled the whole defence, and in the end of the day, for us to be successful, we need to rely on more than 11 players, and that was evident today.
Mark now is obviously a good chance to hold his spot with Elsie being out for a period of time. How likely is he to hold that starting spot when they get the full complement of defenders back?
it's just too early to tell. At the end of the day, you've got to be at your best every day. And Mark's, I think, acquitted himself quite well today. And the challenge for younger players in particular is to also have consistency and not just have one good game. And how do you back it up every day? So, he'll grow from that. I hope he gets a lot of belief from his performance today. And there's still a long way to go.